Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into my official NFL Week number 9 picks and predictions, where I predict the final score of every NFL game here for Week number 9. And the Thursday night game, kind of a weird matchup. Philadelphia taking their undefeated record to Houston. And we get to see Davis Mills on Thursday Night Football. Davis Mills was horrific at home against Tennessee. This Houston Texans team might be at this point the worst team in the NFL. I fully expect them to draft a quarterback when they get a top 3 pick. Right now, Philadelphia sitting almost 2 touchdown favorites. And I have to say, based off of what we've seen recently from this Houston offense, I do have Philadelphia winning this game and covering this spread. I don't feel overly confident about it because it is a 13-point spread, by the road team. And in the NFL, those are always tough to cover. But Philadelphia, the connection between Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown, it is remarkable. It's impressive. They destroyed Pittsburgh last week when I thought it was going to be a close game. They are very legitimate. And you're facing a team like Houston who, again, guys, many of the analytical, models, the rankings, they think Houston is pound for pound clearly the worst team in the NFL, so I'm going with Philadelphia here. Extremely easy win on Amazon Prime. Moving to the 1 o'clock slate, there's no London games anymore. I really disliked the fact that they did an ESPN Plus NFL London game, but whatever. We have the Chargers fresh off of their bye. They should be healthy, except for Joey Bosa, on the road in Atlanta. And guys, for me, I know this Atlanta Falcons team has surprised people. They always seem to cover the spreads. I have to take Justin Herbert over Marcus Mariota, especially Justin Herbert, who should be getting some weapons back. This is a team coming off a bye. I will take the road team. The Chargers are 3-point favorites, but when you look at the actual analytics, Atlanta pound for pound is slightly favored in this matchup. It makes sense. The Chargers have been very inconsistent, but this is a game where I'm just betting on the quarterback. I'm betting on the team coming off the bye week. It is a road game for the Chargers. It's Eastern time zone, so that could be tough, but they are coming off the bye. I'll take the Chargers. A little bit more healthy, more weapons for Justin Herbert. Anytime you've got a quarterback disparity, like the one with Justin Herbert and Mariota, I will bet on Justin Herbert. Next, we've got Miami traveling to Chicago. It'll be interesting this weekend. It is supposed to be unseasonably warm in the Chicago area, in the northern part of the United States, so Miami really could catch a break not having to play in cold weather. But guys, beware of this game. To me, this is your typical NFL upset. Chicago last week, you look at the score, they got trounced, right? They lost by 20. I think it was an aberration. Their defense is good enough to win against Miami at home, and Miami's run game scares me to death. They are extremely one-dimensional right now. They cannot run the football. They scored a bunch of points early against Detroit and then really got shut down. I will take Chicago. Justin Fields is improving. He looked decent against Dallas. Now he comes home. They're really using that run game. They're utilizing Justin Fields' legs along with the two-headed monster they have back there, and only throwing when they need to, really also using play action well. This Bears team I've got in an upset as 5-point underdogs. They were actually 4-point underdogs. The public bet it up to 5. I'll take the Bears to win this game. Close game, 27-24. Next, we have Carolina traveling to Cincinnati. And honestly, I really can't get a good read on this game. I saw a few different lines. There was a line last night that said Cincinnati was 8-point favorites. I would assume that line has come down to around 6 at this point because of the way they looked last night on Monday Night Football without Jamar Chase. It was disturbing. Joe Burrow was getting sacked, left and right. And then Carolina, it's crazy. They trade Christian McCaffrey. You think they're completely punting on the season, and they've been extremely competitive since that trade. I've got this game at 26-20. Carolina can move the football. DJ Moore is really a good receiver. He's playing well. He had 150 receiving yards against Atlanta. But really, I'm not going to overreact to Cincinnati's struggles without Jamar Chase. It was a Monday night game. The Browns have a good pass rush. This should be a little bit easier for Cincy at home to get a win. But I'm really not interested in betting on the spread or the over-under in this game because I just can't get a read on Carolina. I think Carolina seems to be decent, but then it's like the second you bet on PJ Walker and they go out and they score 7 points, it's like, why did you bet on that? So I don't know, guys. I'll take Cincinnati at home by 6. Next, we have Green Bay traveling to Detroit. So Green Bay pretty much dead in the water against Buffalo, really uncompetitive in that matchup. They did cover the spread. They backdoor cover the spread against Buffalo. Now they travel to Detroit, and Detroit's a team that they do have offensive potential overall. They are able to put some points on the board. Green Bay right now a field goal favorite on the road. And you would have to think, for Aaron Rodgers and this Packers team, it really is now or never. You're facing a really bad defense in Detroit. You would think this has to be it for the Packers. If they're going to turn around their season, they're going to have to start right here. They've got a two-headed monster. Aaron Jones ran the ball really good against Buffalo. I think A.J. Dillon's going to be involved, and then they'll use the play action off of that and get a win against the bad Detroit defense. I am trusting Aaron Rodgers in this matchup. And then how about Green Bay's defense actually stepping up? They've invested so much into it. The defense has been so disappointing this year. They're going to step up. They're going to force Jared Goff into 2 interceptions. They're going to win this game on the road, and they're going to cover the spread. Next, we've got the Indianapolis Colts traveling to New England. The Patriots got a big road win against the Jets. The Colts suffered a very tough home loss. Sam Ehlinger, pretty good in that game. His first start, kind of a decent game manager. I think it's going to be a little bit tougher in his second start. I have New England winning this game, lower scoring game. Bill Belichick against inexperienced quarterbacks. That's the name. That's kind of the script for this one, in my opinion. New England, kind of a streaky team. They play really bad one week, really good the next week. They're at home facing an inexperienced quarterback. Let's not overthink this, although I will say, I think Indianapolis really, they've got some good young playmakers. Alec Pierce, in my opinion, was a really good pick. He can be developed into a good receiver. Michael Pittman, he had that miserable drop at the end of the game, but he's still good. And Paris Campbell, kind of a gadget number 3 wide receiver. You can, run sweeps to him. You can run screen passes. He's really fast. I like what Indianapolis is building. And then they've got Jonathan Taylor, who, it's been one of those years, unfortunately, for Jonathan Taylor. The injuries, the fumble. It's been a frustrating year, but he's still a really good player. If Indianapolis somehow was able to acquire a legitimate elite quarterback, they are a Super Bowl contender next year because Alec Pierce is going to get better. Michael Pittman's going to get better. Paris Campbell, hopefully he's healthy. I think he is a free agent next year. But either way, I am excited for this future. I don't think Sam Ehlinger as a franchise quarterback. Of course, it's very early. That's just me speculating based off of what I've seen in college out of him. And then this is a situation with New England. Mac Jones can be a serviceable starting quarterback in the NFL. I know there was kind of a narrative that Mac Jones was a bust. They should play Bailey Zappi. Guys, I think the dynamic with Mac Jones, people really overreacted to his rookie season last year. Mac Jones is a really high floor, low ceiling quarterback. So I don't think Mac Jones could ever win an MVP in the NFL, but he's never going to be a scrub. That's just my opinion on him. I'll take New England at home to use their defense and get the win. Next, we have Buffalo traveling to the New York Jets. The Jets coming off that bad loss to New England. Buffalo gets a win at home against Green Bay, and quite frankly, Buffalo is simply too good. And the New York Jets passing game with Zach Wilson, I understand they're going to stick with him because they did invest the number 2 overall pick into him. They've got to start showing something. I mean, I guess Garrett Wilson had a really good game last week, but other than that, without Breece Hall, this team, this offense is not good enough to compete with the Buffalo Bills and how explosive their offense is. So I'll take the Bills to cover the spread and win this game on the road. fairly easily. Again, only 14 points for the Jets because without Breece Hall, they're going to struggle to run the ball. And we know Zach Wilson's challenges in the passing game. Next, we have the Minnesota Vikings, who only have one loss this season. They will be going on the road in Washington. Washington coming off that come-from-behind win, the crazy theatrics by Taylor Heineke and McLaren. Very, very good win for them. And guys, it just comes down to, do we really think Minnesota is going to continue this streak? I just personally can't see it. They're on the road. This is a typical Kirk Cousins loss in my opinion. They are sitting right now 3.5-point favorites. Give me the Commanders always play close games, so it's always kind of like a coin flip. Do they get lucky this week? Do they get unlucky? They're your prototypical 500 football team, but I will say Minnesota is going to get unlucky this week. The Commanders win on a walk-off field goal. Next, we have the Raiders coming off the surprising shutout loss, the disgusting shutout loss to New Orleans. They are on the road in Jacksonville, and the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence. I still believe in Trevor Lawrence, but it's getting a little worrisome, at least a little bit. We're not seeing the progression we thought we were going to see. We expected. It looked like it was coming along at the beginning of the season, and it's kind of stalled. I will take the Raiders to get back on track. It was an aberration game last week. I still like their offense. Derek Carr at this point, he is what he is. He's never going to be an elite quarterback in the NFL, but he's serviceable. He can have really bad games like that last week, and he can have really good games. I think he's going to have a pretty good game. He will connect with Davante Adams. Davante Adams will get his 130 receiving yards after having like one reception for 3 yards last week. I'll take the Raiders to win this game on the road. Jacksonville does have a good defense. They will be competitive in this game. And they've got a young superstar running back in Travis Etienne who's really breaking out. But I will take Vegas on the road. I think it's kind of a correction game for Vegas and their offense. Moving to the 4 o'clock window, and guys, I quickly have to note, I hate when the NFL does this. I don't understand. Why is there only 2 4 o'clock games? You've got the 1 o'clock window and you've got the 4 o'clock window. Minimum, I know there's teams on buys, but minimum, there should be 3 4 o'clock games, minimum. Everybody watches the red zone. That's how people consume football. They want to watch nonstop NFL content on Sunday. When you restrict it to only 2 games in the 4 o'clock window, we're going to see a lot of downtime when there's only 2 games. So I don't understand why. This is a divisional matchup. It's Seattle at Arizona. And I really do like Arizona to win this game at home. DeAndre Hopkins has been unbelievable since he's returned from his suspension. Kyler Murray is starting to really kick it into gear. They lost last week to Minnesota, but they were very competitive in that football game, and that's a tough road game. Seattle, yes, they've been impressive. Yes, they've been surprising. But Geno Smith last week, a little inefficient. There was that Tyler Lockett drop. I understand that. But I just think Seattle will slowly but surely come back down to earth, and Arizona will get this win at home. Right now, they are only 1.5-point favorites in that one, but they do win and cover the spread. Next, we've got the LA Rams traveling to Tampa Bay. And guys, sometimes it's just not your year. And the LA Rams this year, the Cooper Kupp injury, just the situation where they win the Super Bowl last year, this year, ever since there was that issue with Matt Stafford in the offseason and his shoulder, it's just felt like it's not their year. And Tampa Bay, for as bad as they've been, Tom Brady has still been able to throw the ball. He still has weapons. They're moving the ball through the air. They're at home. They're in a very winnable division. They know if they kick it into gear, they can win that division easily. I'm going to say Tampa Bay uses their defense. Tom Brady throws a few touchdowns. Maybe Leonard Fournette gets it going on the ground. And this is more of a pick against the Rams. I know Cooper Kupp is expected to play and stuff like that, but just something feels off this year with the Rams. And the Bucs, yes, they haven't been great, but I do think it is a little of a situation where people are overreacting to how bad it actually is because we expect Tom Brady to, win 13 games every season. It's not great, but still, they're moving the ball. They just have to start running the ball better. I'll take Tampa Bay at home. Moving on to the Sunday night game, it's going to be my favorite team in the NFL, the Tennessee Titans, traveling to Kansas City. I just can't do it with the Titans. The Titans are the most fraudulent football team I've seen in a while. And this week, finally, They face a legitimate good team on the road. They are listed as 12.5-point underdogs, and I think it's going to get ugly. I think Kansas City will win this game. It's very interesting with Kansas City. It seems like 2 to 3 times a year, Kansas City plays one of these primetime home games where they're like 14-point favorites. We, of course, remember their Monday night game against the Raiders and how close that was. I think this game's going to be a lot easier for Kansas City. They're going to cover the spread and they're going to crush Tennessee. Tennessee simply can't move the ball enough to be able to maintain a competitive game with the Chiefs. You've got the injury to Ryan Tannehill. I'm guessing he will be back. It was mainly an illness that he was out with. Malik Willis, they couldn't even throw the ball. I guess it doesn't matter when you're facing Davis Mills and that Houston offense. Derrick Henry did run for over 200 yards. Kansas City is just going to load the box. There's no weapons on this Tennessee team when it comes to the wide receiver core. Tennessee wins this game very easily. And then moving to the Monday night game, we've got a little AFC, NFC game. Lamar Jackson traveling to New Orleans. We, of course, remember this is back-to-back primetime games now for the Ravens. They were on Thursday night. Now they're on Monday night. That's a lot of rest going from Thursday, full off week. It's basically a mini bye, and then not playing till Monday night. They will be in New Orleans, and I do have the Baltimore Ravens getting a close win. It is so tough to predict New Orleans Saints games because they have so many injuries. We don't know right now. Will Marshawn Lattimore be back? Will Michael Thomas be back? Will Jarvis Landry be back? I just think Baltimore on the road. Right now, they're in position to win the AFC North. They're the better team. It is a road game. We'll see if Roquan Smith plays or not. Either way, I will take Baltimore to win this game by a touchdown. So that's going to do it for my NFL Week number 9 picks and predictions. Guys, make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.